Boom shakalaka, what is going on everybody? Randall here from Crypto Love with a surprise live stream. I didn't even know I was going to do this until I just finished that awesome live stream with Crypto Disruption and found out some freaking news, huh? I bet a lot of you are freaking out. A little tiny bit of news. The Winklevoss Twins Bitcoin ETF application rejected by SEC. Not only rejected, but also Bitcoin price bottoming out below $8,000. I know. Just a little emphasis for you guys before we get started. Read the disclaimer. Duh. But, yes, the news today, guys. Winklevoss Twins Bitcoin ETF application rejected by SEC. What's up, P-Dub? News always happens when I'm on live streams and can't stop live streams to look on the news. But the SEC rejected the application for Bitcoin exchange traded fund by the Winklevoss twin brothers. Now, this is the second time, count them, 2 times that the SEC has rejected an ETF from the Winklevoss twins. The first one was back in February 2017. The second one is now. Well, CNBC reports that the SEC published a new release on Thursday, July 26, stating it does not support the Winklevoss' claim that crypto markets are uniquely resistant to manipulation, rejecting the twins' second application made in June. So, good news, bad news, I don't really care. You know, the Winklevoss twins just had one of many different ETF applications out there. So just because they reject the Winklevoss twins doesn't mean they'll reject the other ones. But despite that being said, let's go take a look where Bitcoin is, where Bitcoin going, and why I'm not concerned overall. So, first thing is, this is just basically some technical analysis. Where Bitcoin has been going, it's been following this ascending channel right above my head there. In this ascending channel, going up, it hit what was expected to be a line of resistance right at $8,400 and plopped down after that to basically, you can't even make this stuff up. Now it's sitting right at the line of previous support right there. This line right here at $8,000, also a big even, $8,000, just sitting there at the line, okay? But people want to know what happens if it breaks through there because some people are just chicken littles and they want to know what happens when the sky is falling. Well, let me tell you, it'll fall right down to this next line on the Fibonacci retracement. That one is at 7,900. If it breaks through there, it'll fall back down to this line of resistance here, which is right around 7,750. If it falls below there, yeah, guess what? Down to 7,500. Do I really think it's going to? I don't know. It's got to break out of this descending track before it really falls down to those levels. So I think we have some forward momentum. Yeah, this ETF thing, people are selling a little bit because they were banking on the ETFs, but do I think it matters that much? No. And why specifically? Well, one thing, before I get into why specifically, one thing I'm keeping an eye on is the MACD. I always look at the MACD to give me an idea of whether the market is looking good or bad or ugly or hairy or whatever it is. Because when this blue line, the MACD, is above the orange line, a signal line, generally means a bullish market. When it flips, the blue's underneath the orange, generally means a bearish market. So blue line still above the orange line, I still have hope. Not only that, but there's this awesome article I mentioned yesterday in the episode. Really good one on our cryptocurrency by Plundit talking about 21 million. Okay, so Plundit says, I want the ETF to be approved as soon as possible, just as much as the next investor. But I think it's important to stay realistic and be prepared for it to be delayed or rejected for 2 main reasons. You see, he already figured that it would be rejected. Number 1, the government operates excruciatingly slow. And number 2, the government is more conservative than the private sector. So, whether an ETF is approved in August, next year, or not at all, he's still extremely bullish on Bitcoin in the short and long term, and I agree with him 100%. He goes on to say, why? Because of the scarcity built into it. There will never be more than 21 million Bitcoin in existence. And in all honesty, 4 million of those are already lost. So there's never more than 17 million. And a lot of those are locked up. So really, there's only ever going to be 11 million in circulation. Period. Okay? As that means there's like 3 times as many millionaires in the world as there are people who can own a whole Bitcoin. Crazy. Mind blown. So, as long as you accept the basic premise that Bitcoin will be used by an increasing number of people in the future, Supply and demand principles should drive price up over time. Simple economics, supply and demand. If the supply is fixed, which it is, it's a deflationary currency, okay? If the supply is fixed, demand goes up, price goes up along with it. Another factor not talked about often is Bitcoin's fractionalization. The idea that you can own as little as a millionth of a Bitcoin makes it much more accessible and psychologically appealing and scalable to the general public. So, that being said, more than half of Americans have less than $1,000 in their savings account. Until that changes, they'll never be able to afford a share of Amazon, which is $1,824, but they can own a piece of Bitcoin, and really anyone in the world can do it, even in places like Zimbabwe and Venezuela, where the government does funny stuff with their money and then they use Bitcoin because it is real currency. Just a reminder, guys, where has Bitcoin been over the past 5 years? 8,200 this year, 2754 the year before, 661, 288, 601, 94. The price keeps going up, and before that it was even less and less. So the price keeps going up. But guys, just a reminder, I'm not concerned about this Bitcoin ETF being rejected. Yeah, an ETF would be nice. Yeah, the price would shoot up with an ETF. No, this is not the only ETF application out there, but it's not the end of the world. People are still using Bitcoin. They're still developing Bitcoin. The Lightning Network's coming out. All these different projects. We're creating the future. And honestly, a little bit of news like this might cause a drop in price from the Chicken Littles running the fudders, but what's it going to do? And as we're talking, I mean, price goes right above $8,000. $8,000 is a big even. It's going to take a lot to break through that spot. But if we do, like I mentioned, next areas where it could be 7,900, 7,750, and 7,400, where we might see some support if we don't see it there. But remember, we're still in this positive channel. The MACD is still looking bullish, and I'm still happy. Just wanted to bring you that short one because that's just some news. All right? So hope you guys enjoyed that. I'll catch you guys later. All right? I got some yoga to go to. Peace, peace.